Boy. All right, what's going on, everyone? Good morning. Bit of a rough start because of this guy. We'll get into who this guy is. You guys know who this guy is.
Of course he blames me. The very first thing, the very first show of the new year, he blames me. He blames me for his lack of prowess, professionalism, all those things, and he just turns to me and lays it on my shoulders. It's okay. It's all right.
So how's your day going? What's going on, everyone? It's Wednesday. It's 11 o'clock Eastern here in New York. So we go live with Coffee with Creators. And this is not a green screen. This is 42 West 18th Street. This is an actual place you can come to and that you are welcome to. Just like you're welcome in that chat, you're welcome here in these chairs. And my man Joe has been here many a times shooting live for you. But Joe, before I unleash you and this dam of a mouth of yours, if you know, Joe has the gift of gab. We all love it. Just let me get through the sponsors first, okay?
Okay.
All right. Housekeeping first, guys. Number one, I want to say thanks to the sponsor, Nikon. Shocking, right? Joe McNally, synonymous, Nikon. Synonymous with some of the most legendary images of our history has been shot through Nikon. And this event space has been streaming on Nikon cameras since the rebuild 2 years ago. So you're looking on us on Nikon Z6 III, and I want to thank Nikon for supporting this event space with a multi-cam of Nikon Z series and glass. So thank you so much. And you've been trusting Nikon for like 40 years. 45?
More.
Yeah.
I bought my first Nikon camera in 1973. So you can back it up from there. I was a student. My professor said, buy a Nikkormat. It's a poor man's F2. And I was definitely a poor man. I was a student. And so I bought a Nikkormat, and I haven't looked back.
So check out the links down below for the full lineup of Nikon and, the full Z series, Z9, Z8, Z6 III, Z5 II came out, which is an amazing entry-level full-frame camera, Z52, all of it, right? All right. And I want to give a quick thank you to Tenba for supporting the show. They've been making custom Coffee with Creators camera bags, and guess what, baby? You get a metal engraved Tenba camera bag, man.
That's great. Coffee with Creators. That's very cool.
Yeah, man. And
you should do like the rodeo guys. You should do belt buckles.
That's a Daniel thing. Daniel with belt buckles. So Tenba has been started right here in New York since 1977, I believe. And it was started by a photographer. If you've been in this industry long enough, you probably got a Tenba bag of some kind. Yep. Check out the link down below. I personally really like all their smaller tech bags that fit into everything with clear panels so I can see what I'm looking for, because Joe knows I'm a mess. So that's yours, man. Thanks, Tenba, for supporting this.
Thank you, Tenba. Yeah, I agree with Seth. They make great stuff.
And last, I want to say a quick thanks to Gotham Roasters. This is 18th Street. They are on 19th Street, and they are owned by a photographer and a filmmaker. You are supporting this industry by going there before you come here for an event. Go tell them that Adorama sent you. Cheers, kid.
Cheers.
What'd you get?
I got black with actually 3 sugars because it's a big coffee. So, plus the caffeine, plus the sugar, I'm good to go.
Oh, it's gonna be a wild one. I got to one of these. So you know how it is. I'm always like going a little crazy here.
This guy's like an octopus when he gets on the air. He's got, the turning on cameras, turning off cameras, changing the angle, changing the color, changing the lights.
I like to think of this more like down Periscope, where the guy's like touching 2 wires together to make things happen with Kelsey Grammer, But you were pivotal to the start of this space. You were pivotal to the start of the channel here. You did videos. Remember the whiteboard with Joe? Remember those?
Yeah.
So I think you guys in this chat, if you're in this chat, I know most of you know Joe's audio is a little low because he doesn't want to talk into a mic. Hang on.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Should I pitch my voice? Is this good?
Oh, sorry, guys. He's usually like animated, and then he gets into these chill modes that I never see coming. It's like a sneak attack. It's very weird, and I don't know how to respond to it. You've been pivotal to building out this space, this community. Adorama's been part of your DNA for like major projects, but and Annie came out of here, your wife, who kept me alive during my I'd say my adolescent years of being a pro. Like I came in here like really rough, and I would be like, I need things, and she would make sure I'd walk out of here just a little bit better every time. And she kept us going. But what I always remind myself is that when I saw you on stage, I think it was at Photo Plus a million years ago. I always remember the one line. You're like, hey, how many of you guys have seen a bad picture? How many of you guys have shot a bad picture? Well, you're going to see a lot of bad pictures right now because we're going to do this live. And this is a guy that everyone just assumed hits a button and magic and everything's perfect. But you are committed to holding nothing back, no gatekeeping. And I think you've personally taught me about the whole, like, don't pull up the ladder behind you. Like, we want to future this industry. We got to make sure we pull those people with us. Where did that bug come from?
Well, from long ago. I mean, and you're absolutely right. I mean, photographic information is useless unless you pass it on. I mean, if you hoard information, what's the point of that? So, and also making mistakes on stage. I've shot live in front of thousands of people at this point, and I've made some horrible pictures out there, absolutely. But the thing, I've always said this, your path to a good picture is littered with bad photographs. If you're not making bad photographs, you're not trying. You're not trying to enlarge your envelope, and try some new stuff. And if you make a bad picture in front of people, so what? I'm not embarrassed by that. It's like, this is part, as you mentioned earlier, the DNA of being a photographer. You're always looking to express, expand, find a new level, find another, as they say, find another gear. And there's pain involved in that. There just is,
Yeah, I just think that, and I've never actually talked to you about this. I think you're given license because of your 40-something years of, like, not just shooting photos, Joe. National Geographic, Life magazine. I mean, the 9/11 project, the James Brown's last portrait, I think, was yours. Like, you have such, I mean, beyond the photo industry level images. I call them that because, like, normal people, civilians, as I like to call them, come into contact with your work. They might not even know it, but, like, to us, we know Joe shot that. To them, it's just an image that has been impacted or brought to them by a media source for a reason, for the impact that it has. I think you are given that license to be, like, confident enough to go, look, you've seen me. I'm able to throw down. Now I'm going to get into the mud a little bit, but I do agree that a lot of people fall into this trap of, I know this formula works, so I'm just going to stick to it, even if it doesn't fit my subject. Like, people are like, I love Rembrandt lighting. No, you don't. You're throwing something at a subject. You're not even looking at the subject, Yeah.
I agree with you. With experience comes a certain amount of leeway, perhaps, and that's a good thing, because experience is to be respected, is to be, enjoyed and also shared. So I got mentored. I mean, quick example. People probably don't remember this name, but Ralph Morse was the dean of American space photography. He was the Life magazine photographer who photographed the original Mercury 7, right? And Ralph had vast experience with rocket launches. And then America started slinging space shuttles in the air, and all us young guys were sent down to photograph these launches. We didn't have a clue. Ralph took us to lunch, and we were his competition. He was shooting for time. But
what age were you at this point?
I was probably late 30s, early 40s.
So you're sitting down with what you consider a legend.
Ralph is absolutely a legend.
Okay.
And Ralph made the Jackie Robinson picture rounding third base.
Okay.
And Ralph sat with us and he told us exactly how to do it. But the thing was, he was so confident in his own level of experience, he knew he was going to kick our butt anyway, which he did. He had special access with NASA, this and that, but he was unstinting in what he gave back. And that's a powerful thing. This industry gives you many gifts. It also kicks you in the shins sometimes, but there is a special privilege, I think, about being able to walk the earth with a camera in hand. Think about it. You carrying a camera has enabled you to have access to people's lives, to special things that other people don't get to see, because you are reporting. You're a visual reporter, and people will give you that leeway, that access, and they don't give it to other people. I mean, I've flown with the Blue Angels twice.
Yeah, that's insane.
And so here's the thing. It's really cool to be backseat in an FA-18. But also, I was shooting those times for National Geographic, and I'm acutely aware when I got into the backseat of that airplane, like, oh man, this is going to be cool. This is going to be amazing. But I also was acutely aware that I had millions of eyeballs depending on me to give them that experience, because they're never going to be backseat in FA-18. So it's a tremendous responsibility you have as a photographer to give that experience you're having out in the field, that visceral emotional experience, and transfer it in a worthwhile way back to the reader, so the reader has access to that information, to that pictorial excellence, and also to the emotions of that moment.
Yeah, I do think people, especially in this era where we've created more images probably in the last 10 years than we've ever seen in human existence, right?
For sure.
Various levels of quality, connection, whatever you want to say. But I stand by images, unless you have sight impaired people, it is the quickest, fastest impact and communication point that we have, I think. I mean,
Unquestionably.
hieroglyphics alone are visual.
Yeah.
And it's telling its whole thing, you know?
Right. There, I always say photographs are our footprints. They're the proof that we were here. Why do you think those guys started painting on the cave walls, hundreds of thousands of years ago?
Yeah, you always talk about the license that it gives you to connect with people, get into places like that. Don't you feel that's changed over the years though? Like, cause like when I was a photographer 20 years ago and it was film, you were one of like a few that really trudged through it, that every shot cost you money. It took time to get it going after the fact. Then digital came out and it got a little more, for lack of a better term, disposable feeling. People were just going for it. Then the phone started and stuff like that. And after a while, they just wanted, we're in an era now where we need things basically as it's happening live, right? Like, I mean, literally you need to go live from your phone from wherever you are to be kind of relevant, right? I mean, we're live right now, right, guys? Hi, guys. And yes, I will get to some of your questions in a second. I'm sorry, guys. Do you feel it's changed over the years, that carte blanche you get, that trust building you get because you're shooting? Because there's like 5 other people behind you that also shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, it has changed substantially. I used to describe the film photography days as being on a bumpy country road traveled by a hardy few.
This is such a Joe line. Oh,
and digital turned that bumpy country road into a super highway traveled by thousands going very fast. I like it. I mean, I call it the democracy of digital because, as you say, there's more people shooting pictures now than there ever have been before, and that's a good thing. Yeah. Enthusiasm is through the roof. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think there was a survey or something. Photography is the most favorite hobby of the globe.
I think it's the most human thing. Like, you want to document. You don't want to miss what was in front of you. You want to save what was in front of you. Even if you're doing something that's more curated, like we do studio setups and commercial stuff, like you're solving a solution, you're trying to get to it and provide an impact. And it's just the same thing as I always tell you guys, right? Like, everything we do in a frame is a words in a sentence. It's got to be coherent. It's got to make sense, right? Yep. And we're constantly communicating. I just think that the camera gives you so much beyond talking.
Yes.
People
absolutely.
won't listen to you for this hour, but they'll see an image in 7 seconds and get.
Yes, they'll instant communication. It's the visual language of the world. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when in film days, when I would go into remote places for Geographic, I would bring a Polaroid camera with me, an instant Polaroid camera, an SX70, or I forget what they were called exactly. I think that's it. And
the flat folders. Yeah, SX70.
And that picture, like you would make a film photograph with a camera, whatever I was shooting, but I'd also make a Polaroid to give it to people.
Yes.
That would be a treasure.
Yes. Yeah. So I did it with the Polaroid 110B when I was in my younger days. I still have that 110B, by the way. But there was a Grammy party that I had to shoot, right? I did 400 portraits in one night. And I had to shoot 4 sets of everybody. And then it went right from my camera to a printer and it emailed them. I didn't have a chance to lose one frame. I had to get it every time, right?
Excellent.
The only one I remember out of the 400 was this girl, Courtney, who took a picture of me before I took a picture of her with her Instax. And then hands me that photo. Yeah. You can't see who I am or whatever. I got a giant lens in her face. But that always reminds me about how we can't lose the tangible. Print your work. Make sure you make definitive decisions about what the frame that you want to put out there is. And I think you edit down your work amazingly, because I've seen you shoot. I've been on sets with you for years, but you still put out one frame from whatever it was.
I mean, you have to be brutal about your own editing process, to be sure. You can't go slack on yourself. But you bring up a very good point, Seth, the permanence of the print. And as we plunge into 2026 here, I'm just wondering if that could be kind of something that we engage in or remember. Because, you spend very little time with your average Instagram, right? Like quick. A printed picture makes you think. It stops you. It arrests your day. It involves your eyes, your senses, in a way that a digital experience just doesn't do. So I'm hoping this year that we really get back, at my studio anyway, into printing. In fact, just after threatening for years to do this, Vincent Versace, who's a Nikon Ambassador, very good photographer, and I finally exchanged prints. We have been talking about it for 15 years.
That's amazing.
And we just finally did it.
Yeah. And the one thing I always tell people with prints is you have to live with them. Like they're on a wall. So recently a a photographer from the BMX era that I was in started releasing the photos from my riding day eras as prints. And I am absolutely going to go out of my way to buy one. I can't figure out which one I want, but I want to live in the photo that I probably ripped out of a magazine when I was a kid on my wall. It changes the way you're thinking. It's in the back of your mind all the time. It's like a mood board that's around you all the time. It just keeps you like fueled, you know?
Yeah. There are pictures in my house that I've had them for years. And sometimes I stare at them and they just make me think. And they remind me of why I do this.
That's important too, because I think we've all gotten to a place where like, we talked about this while we were in London. I'm like, look, I'm struggling with even just, we could talk about London. You beat the snot out of me, man. I could not. I was like, you gotta be Joe. I mean, I didn't walk out of there with an image. You walked out of like 17 images and 3 videos. I didn't even get a video of the trip done. And I'm like, this guy just ran circles around me. But I'm like, you know what? If someone's going to run circles on me, I'll let it be Joe. Once every 5 years, I'll let Daniel do it. But that's it. And then, but I mean, the one thing I've always admired about you, and the one thing that always makes me, and I wrote about this on Instagram, you always remind me that like, no matter what happens, the technology changes, where you're at in your life, you got $1 in your pocket, or your rent's paid, or if you're going to be evicted, whatever, you can still find the need to go chase that photo. And you chase a photo. When I see Joe McNally on set chasing a photo, I'm like, this guy's 15. This guy's a 16-year-old that just loaded a roll of film and doesn't care what's going to happen there. You're just going for it. And I got to tell you, you are another human. It is insane to watch that happen. And then I just want to, I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why is Joe is like 1,000,000 years old? Why is it happening?
No,
it's so admirable. It's so hard. And it's so hard to keep that. How do you keep that?
You have to be a kid with a camera. Always. You have to, and this sounds like some sort of smarmy baloney, but you have to look at the world with the eyes of a child, Seth.
I hate you so much sometimes. I really do.
No, but it's true.
I've seen you. I'm not to interrupt you. I've seen you completely exhausted. I've seen you glasses half off your face, last brain cell functioning. But as soon as you get like a bite, it's over. You can't go. You can't get you to stop. You're like making people grab things. Anything around you is a resource, which is very fun.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, when you're after a photograph, it's like jumping out of an airplane, right? I mean, you're done. It's in for a penny, in for a pound. Once you're jumped out of the airplane, you pull the ripcord, that plane's gone. You're on your own. You have to land successfully. And whatever you have to do to achieve that is what you do. Because the field, let's face it, this is a struggle. This is not easy to do. It's not easy to make a living. It's not easy to make a good photograph, even though digital has made the technology facilitate us to a great degree. Making a good photograph is still bloody hard.
The bar raised. Years ago, if you had a slightly blurry eye, you were okay. Now, if that eye is just like, like the bar is raised because we've taken excuses off the table because the technology has gotten so much crazier.
Oh, yeah.
It's gotten smaller, more accessible. I mean, we're taking 500-watt strobes and holding it over water now, right? Like we weren't able to do that years ago. You'd have a battery pack running to a thing. I was running Speedotrons that were the size of, I'm not kidding you, a Speedotron pack was like this big. Now, this much in your hand gives you all that power. You can carry it for longer. You can get to places, get in places, stash. The thing what you do with speed lights, you stashed them in every little crevice you could find to literally tailor a scene. What was it, like 8 billion speed lights to light a commercial airliner you did one time?
We did a lot of speed lights, but yes, you're right. Those days are gone. For National Geographic, I did a couple of space exploration stories, telescopes, big telescopes, which are huge buildings located in forbidding places at the ends of the earth. I shipped, with just one assistant, 47 cases to Chile. We packed them in 3 pickup trucks, drove them out into the Atacama Desert. I spent the next 2 weeks out there lighting the Very Large Telescope. And then we relayed a helicopter in from the coast, and I was flying low enough, thankfully it was a calm night, that I was able to radio. What I did was I put the receivers, I ran them on extension cords on high rollers.
Oh my gosh.
At the mouth of the telescope. So I ran them up high so they wouldn't be behind steel and metal. And that was the only way I could make it connect, because this is pictures I did 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
The radios back then were like sophisticated garage door openers. I mean, it was not heavy duty stuff. I mean, you look at something like the Photo Connect Pro,
Yeah.
100 channels and this and that, and you can do all sorts of things without never leaving the camera. Holy smoke.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who complains about camera technology at this point in time, take it down the block, please.
I feel like you need a screen door and a robe on and just yelling at kids on your lawn like, you kids have it so good. Don't you get it? But it is true. But I also think, I don't think you have any concept of like how over the top your problem solving has been, because 99% of photographers are not going to be in a situation that involves a helicopter running a.
I know that. And I'm very thankful for the magazines I work for, the budgets that I had over the years. But here's the thing. I'm having as much or more fun now.
Oh, yeah, you are.
As I did back then.
Yeah. And I almost, this is not a knock on you, but I also think that, look, you're not as young as you used to be, the energy, just the toll on your body. It almost like you're in real time balancing out. You can keep up with the pace you're at because the gear gets lighter, it gets faster, it gets easier.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of funny, right? Like it's a perfect symbiote almost. There's
no question about the fact that digital photography and the technology has extended my life and the life of a lot of working pros who are in the older generation. Autofocus, accurate autofocus, came along for me at just the right time, because, I had 20/10 vision when I was younger. It was not a problem. I could focus through, looking through an f2 and some of the slower, older lenses was like looking into a coal mine compared to what we have now. The lenses are brighter. The autofocus is extremely accurate. All that stuff that's happening for me, man, I just I'm thankful for it every day I'm in the field.
He also drinks elven blood every third Sunday to make sure he stays a little bit on the step.
I'm up to every other Sunday.
Oh boy. Oh man. All right. Let's get some of your questions. We're both talkers. So, Tony is asking, Seth, Joe, did you guys ever have a photo that you wanted to get away from you? You never got that shot you wanted? A million times, but some leave scars and I will never forget them. What's one for you?
Oh yeah. No, I look at some of the things that, I've done and I wish I had them back. I wish I could reapproach them with the technology that we have. But also, too, I've lost a lot of pictures through just, sheer stupidity, ineptitude, a whole variety of reasons. And those are the ones, you're right, they scar your heart. I spent an evening with Cher for People Magazine, back when People Magazine was a really powerful magazine. Black and white donkey bag. I'm by myself. And it was the night she was on Letterman with Sonny. And Annie Leibovitz showed up with a whole team because she was photographing Sonny for a cover of Vanity Fair.
How deep were you into your career at this point?
Oh, very deep.
Okay.
I had already shot covers of Life and People and Time and everything like that. And I just want that night back, or that opportunity back, because, I was young. I wasn't really all that confident. I should have been more confident. I should have been stronger, but she steamrolled me. And Annie. I got, not Annie, no, Cher.
Oh, Cher.
Yeah. And, Annie was doing another thing, but it was hectic on the set, on Letterman. And then we ended up in a limousine going out to the Aerosmith concert. And then we went to this and that. And I'm just trying to catch up, and I'm trying to slow this lady down and see if I could get some decent photographs. I did okay, but I look back at experiences like that and I'm like, good Lord, you should have done better.
Yeah. Well, everything's hindsight, especially with photography, because like you're thinking about 8 million variables. You know how many times I've done a demo in here and it's like, oh, I should have done this. Like, hold on. You were balancing 16 plates on poles. Like, give yourself a break for a second. Yeah. And I think we look back and forget that whole part, honestly.
It's true. Photographers, we're famous for kicking our own butt, and just standing in front of the mirror going, oh man, I should have done better. I'm such a loser.
Yeah, but if you don't notice that, that's the problem. If you don't recognize what you should have done, that's the problem.
Yeah. Overconfidence can be a problem, which overconfidence is a quality facilitated by the technology. Because you put a modern camera on program, it's like, oh, hey, these are pretty nice. Hey. And then you get your family circle around you, saying, oh, those are pretty nice. Honey, you should do this professionally.
Your camera takes nice photos.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this overconfidence that stems from that when you want to just go, okay, everybody out of the pool. Let's talk about some basics first.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I don't think people realize you have to have a vision to where it could go, because the camera's not going to take you there. It doesn't have GPS for the actual concept or whatever, right?
Well, in the videos you did of me in London, I was at the camera, and I remember just offhand just saying, Seth, the good pictures come in the box.
Yeah, well, so speaking of that, those videos that we did in London, they're going to come out on Joe's new platform, and I do want to talk about that, and this is a good segue into it. We could share another story of mine later on. If you guys go to this QR code right here, you can go to, is it not going? What just happened here? There we go. Sorry. If you go to this QR code right here, it'll take you to a better picture of Joe. What is this? In my opinion, it is Discord on steroids. You are getting Joe and a nice, I don't want to say isolated, but it's like a really good group of people that are the not toxic people that really want to do this, that really want to learn. And Joe is in there constantly to help you along the way, exclusive content. And when I say content, it's not him brushing his teeth as a blog. It's my man in the street going, here's what I'm going to do on the fly right now. And it's what I told you to do for years. Like, just film yourself while you're working regardless and just make stuff happen. And I'm glad you're doing it. There's discussion groups in there. You can share work. There's group critiques. It's just 24/7 support there for you. And it's Joe's, right? Like, this is where you can get time with Joe to take a look at your work. And he's very, very active in there, I will say.
I'm very responsive because I'm really proud of what we've done and happy with it. And it's given me a place to write to again, to a community that I know has a dedicated purpose. And let me just take a moment to, I know a lot of you, if you probably know a bunch of the folks on the chat right now, then it means you probably also know Annie or have heard of Annie. The site is totally driven by Annie. She basically created it. It's an astonishing effort that she made, a heavy lift, if you want to call it that, of learning and tutorials and consultations to build this site into a very interactive presence. So, hit that QR code and stop by. It's been a joy to have going. It's brand new. We've only really been live for about 6 weeks or so, maybe a little bit longer. And it's very, very, the main thing about it, Seth, is that it's very interactive.
Yes.
You ask me a question, I'll get back to you. It's not somebody else getting back to you. It's
right.
me.
Right. And I think the content alone is just like, it's not just like 1 or 2 videos. There's a whole library. So not trying to pitch on it. Although I will say he sucker punched me. He was like, Seth, what are you doing on Sunday? And I was like, what's up, Joe? He's like, I don't know. You want to come hang? I'm just going to go chase some pictures. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go chase some pictures with Joe. I show up and Joe goes, so go pick a spot that you know that's good to get shots. Wait, what are you talking about, Joe? Yeah, you're going to hold my lights, assist me. This guy's going to film me and I got this great model. What is happening, Joe? Oh, we're going to go film a video of me shooting. I'm just going to go chase some pictures. Thanks for any heads up. And of course, I'll always help you. You don't have to sidebar. But
I count on you.
Well, I listen, I find I'm very grateful that we're friends and I can call you out of nowhere with some stuff because you're going to have insight that I'll never have. And I got some bigger jobs coming up that I poked you about and stuff like that. But I'm really glad that other people can poke at you now. I think it's important that I can't tell you how many times we've done something together, Joe. And I'm like, if you just film this, and he's talking, no matter what, he's talking the whole way. If there's a camera or not, this guy doesn't shut up. And it's like, it just goes away to nether. It goes to nether realm. It's gone forever, Joe. I'm so glad you're doing it. So now you guys get this. All right.
Well, you can write this, in my bio as I go sail off into the skies. I finally listened to Seth. Okay. He's been telling me for 10 years, get a video camera, get this stuff on.
I bought him a camera.
And we're using it. All the live streams I do out of my studio now are done on the camera this man gave me.
Oh, okay. So. I just was like, I got him the Osmo Pocket 3, the DJI, because I was like, all he's got to do is pull this out of his pocket, turn it on, and talk to it. And I got to say, the level of knowledge you're giving and the sets that you're doing are so high end that it doesn't need the best production quality. Just film it. That's what I was trying to say to you, right? Just hit go and edit it later. If you think it wasn't good, drop it, but at least you have it. So I was trying to get him into, he's not one of us kids, that pulls out our phone and constantly talks to it. So I gotta kind of get him into this habit of it,
Is that PJ? PJ, how you doing, man? Your camera makes nice photos. Your oven makes good lasagna. Good analogy, PJ. Way to go.
You don't got to yell at him. He can hear you through that.
Wait, that's right, yeah. Oh, wow. You mean this talks to lots of people?
Oh, so Matthew's Grip is asking, how do you approach studio different than your location work?
Wow. Good question. Good question. I mean, a lot of folks are terrified of the studio. You know, it can be really daunting because you walk in there, it's like oftentimes it's 4 white walls, you know, and I always describe the studio as a box you fill with your imagination. And there's plenty of room to move. You think like, oh man, it's just a white wall. But if you hark back to Avedon, for instance, some of the most memorable, beautiful pictures he ever made were just on a white piece of seamless paper. It was because he was so vibrant at the camera and he had such declarative intent and the talent to back up that intent. And that's why we're still looking at his pictures now. So the approach I have most of the time in the studio is that I'm thoroughly and completely pre-visualized as to what I'm going to do. Not always. I mean, Seth saw me founder over in London for about a half an hour into a shoot.
It was 3 seconds of you going, I'm not sure what to do. I mean, Joe, like it was whatever.
Trust me, I've crashed and burned. And lots of folks on a set with me will get very frustrated sometimes because here's just a little gratuitous piece of advice. If you're on a studio and things aren't going well, clear the set. I'll just say if I have folks, who are working with me, I say, okay, just take the lights off the set. Let's stop, okay? Pull them off the set. I need about 5 minutes, and I get the set clean. It gives me a clean frame of mind, and then I start over again. Because the last thing you want to do is know that you're going in a direction. And I know all of us have done this, right? We're back at the camera, we look at the LCD, and that picture stinks. And you're looking at, oh, it's nice, it's beautiful, and you just keep shooting.
No, you do a vertical then. Then you
go vertical, yeah. Thinking like, okay, now a vertical frame of this garbage will somehow work better than a horizontal frame. We've all kidded ourselves, right? We've all done that. And I just urge you just to realize it. Stop. If the client's on the set, just say, hey, why don't you take a break? Go do some email. I need to think this through. We got to go maybe a slightly different direction. I just need a little time. You're in control. It's your camera. Right?
It's a rope to climb or hang with. That's the way I look at it. And I call that moment quicksand. Like it's very easy for you to move more and go towards it and you get sunk. And then before you know it, your time's out. Your talent's energy is exhausted, which people don't put into account.
Exactly.
Especially if you're doing something with something dynamic like a dancer. They only got so many jumps in them. There's only so much. You want that real energy that's there, not them trying to get through the last slog of that shot or whatever.
Yep.
But, I think that's why I have such reverence for genuine studio photography, because it is a black frame without everything you're doing in it.
Right.
And when I'm on location, I go, what am I on this location for and why? That's what I got to include in this image. It's not going to be about eliminating it. You know, many times people have done videos like there's amazing space and they throw a hand painted backdrop up and they're shooting in the backdrop. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. There's amazing graffiti here. You're in a field. What are you doing? Because they think they're going through the motion. They think this is what people want. This is what they think they can see. It's what they feel safe with. Don't play it safe. You're not going to grow. And it's hard to, I know it's hard to do that. I know it's hard to let yourself have some confidence for a change, but.
Yeah. You just sent me that, that little internet note about Peter Lindbergh.
Oh man, Peter Lynn was so good.
It was, I commented back to Seth. I just loved the offhand way I mean, everything was tight. He knew he had direction. He knew exactly what he was doing. But there's an offhand nature to it, an impromptu aspect to the way he photographed, and I really miss that. Such a good photographer.
Yeah, and the reason I sent that to him was the guy was using a bounce board on a garbage can in New York, like. It's all the stuff you see us do, pizza boxes, whatever. The video we did on your channel, trying to keep saying channel, Better Picture with Joe. We threw a bounce board on a bunch of traffic cones because that's what we had. But I just sent that joke. I'm like, look, Joe, we're holding tradition, man.
We're in good company. Good Lord, Peter Lindbergh. He was a treasure. He was an absolute treasure.
But you gotta be scrappy. And I think there's a lot of people that don't realize like they can be, or they think they need something that they don't have on them. It's like, forget about what you don't have. What do you have and what can you do? And when you learn more about what Daniel calls exploit, you exploit the gear till it doesn't do what you want it to do. Well, what around you can you use for what you need for right there and get out of there? It's like, oh, I didn't bring my 5-1 reflector. Cool. There's a giant piece of paper in this garbage. I'll bounce light just the same if I can use it right. You know?
Exactly. And also you mentioned the camera too. The camera it's an amazing tool. That's, you can do many, many things with it. It is so amazing that you have to be careful that you drive it and it doesn't drive you.
Oh, fair. Okay. I think people get stuck. So I think it's part of, especially when you're doing demos here, I think people get caught up on like the gimmick techniques, and some of that leans onto features of the gear. right? And so then the shot becomes about what the gear can do rather than the shot you're creating. And I think that's when you lose connection to people even caring about your shot. And then we start getting the same copy paste shots on Instagram. Let me guess, you got a smoke machine and some RGB lights? I got it. So what did that do for the subject? I'm glad you're having fun. And listen, buy all the gear. What do you want? I might buy the store. No, I'm just kidding. But what is it doing for the subject? And then in turn, what are you getting as the image? And what is that doing for your viewer? That's the success, I think.
I think you hit a real nail on the head there, because we live in an era, let's face it, where the BTS, behind the scenes, the story about how we made the picture, what is happening behind the camera, is almost as important as the actual photograph.
Oh, it is. It is.
But what we can't forget, it's never about us. It's about the honor and respect we are approaching the subject with, the truth that we are able to ascertain in that subject, and the fact that that image comes through our camera and we give it to the reader. The reader is our ultimate client. And we have a job to do to inform that reader. If I was going to get a picture in the National Geographic, I've said this many times, it had to fire on at least 3 pistons. It had to have good information. In other words, move the story along. It had to be pictorially excellent, hopefully a good photograph. And it had to emotionally involve the viewer. And that last condition there, the emotions of it, that's the prime turf. That's what you want. You want to get into somebody's heart, somebody's head. You want to make them not sleep. You want to make them laugh. You want to make them cry. You want to make them angry. You want to make them think. You want to make them pause with your photograph. And that's our job.
Speaking of angry, I want to bring up something a little contentious with you, because we actually talked about it and you were gracious enough to comment on my video about it. There's a whole trend on lighting people on fire right now for photos.
Oh, yeah. And is that still going on?
Oh, yes, because more people have seen it. So more people replicate it and more people just buy a camera and go do things, right? Can we talk a little about that? Because I think you and me are in the same boat, as you have a responsibility to whoever is in front of your lens, especially when you create the environment for them.
Right.
In the video I did on my channel, it wasn't just about the fire. There was one where a guy was splashing water on a gymnast and she was slipping onto a hard gym floor. And I'm like, this girl's going to ruin her life with an injury for a junk photo.
Yep.
Can you talk to, in your opinion, at your level, all your experience, where do you stand on all this?
Yeah. And the experiences I've had, as a younger photographer, I took some foolish risks. For myself, I don't like to think I put anybody else at risk. I think that we have an absolute responsibility to keep the people around us, crew, subjects, etc., safe. That's why when I work at the extremes of the day, for instance, in New York, we almost always hire off-duty New York City police detectives.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because I have a responsibility. If I have a beautiful dancer in the street at 2 a.m., and we're working on a deserted street and she is in a tutu or a gown or something like that, she's going to draw attention. You have to keep her safe.
Right.
And that is absolutely a responsibility we have to everyone who's involved in that. Very recently, I was in Florida and I was working with a fire dancer in a theater in a controlled environment. And I had the idea, well, maybe we could go to the beach and maybe just do something impromptu. And so we went to the beach and we were hoping that the beach would be deserted. It was not.
Wow.
And there was a lot of people around. There were a lot of kids around. And we had an assistant, a stylist, the talent, and she had all her gasoline and all that sort of stuff. And Seth, I was profoundly uncomfortable. And I looked around and I went back to everybody who was gathered there on the beach and they were starting to get prepped. I said, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is everybody is going to get paid. The bad news is we're not doing the shot. I can't take that risk. As soon as we take out fire, people are going to be on their iPhones. People might call the police, might call the fire department. We could be at risk for prosecution or violating a permit. We don't have any permits. This is an impromptu shoot. I might endanger, the community might take umbrage at this. This is not my place. I don't live here. And so I just looked at everybody and said, we're folding our tents. We're not going to do this shot. The picture was not going to be that strong anyway. Why am I going to risk that in pursuit of a photograph that is not even going to be remembered in a week?
I don't think it's ever there was one, I don't even know who this person is, but they had like a girl in spike stilettos on an I-beam over a bridge. And I'm like, if she's choosing to risk her life, what about those cars underneath her that aren't choosing to be scarred for life or be killed because she falls or whatever? Like, what shot do you, and then the comments just flood with people that don't know any better going like, this is so brave. It's like, no, it's not. It's stupid. Like, it's just dumb. And then I think that's where people bring up AI in the chat right now. And it's like, if I just don't think those shots are doing anything that's worth someone's endangerment. And it makes us look even worse when people discredit photographers as a profession already. You know, it's like you're just a kid literally playing with fire or whatever. And in my opinion, you want to go play with fire or whatever, be the guy on fire, go get your pyro license. Then don't change one thing about your practices and see how quickly that pyro license gets revoked.
Well, that's the thing.
You know?
I did for the Z9 launch for Nikon, I did a thing out in the desert where we had flames inside a vehicle.
Oh, that crazy car, right?
The crazy car. But we had permits. We had gone through all of the rigmarole. It was the Mirage, the Mirage Dry Lake Basin. I'm probably not getting that terminology right, but we had their participation, their permit from the local fire department. They almost made us have a water truck out there. They reneged on that eventually, but we had there's different classes in Hollywood for fire people on the set. And this guy had the highest rating. So we had a pyro guy from major Hollywood movies on set with us, watching us and directing all of that action, because I wouldn't take a step without that. You can't.
Yeah. It's just insane to me. And I think it's very selfish. I think it's immature. I think it's unprofessional. And then and my favorite part is they fight back at you like, you don't know. Like, you're literally lighting kids on fire. Shut up. Like, you know?
Well, that's the thing that I appreciate about you, Seth, and this very, very strong pulpit that you have, really, this voice that you have within the photo community. You come down on the side of good photographs, reason, safe conduct, and you also advocate for photographers, and you also dispense really accurate, unvarnished information, good, bad, and different.
Thank you.
And so I really appreciate the fact that you are continuously doing that, and you're a very powerful voice in this industry.
That means a lot, Joe. Thank you. I don't really feel that, but I do feel like there's something about this, especially this space, that I feel like I'm constantly just resuscitating a heartbeat and keeping it going. I just want to look, when I was coming up, I didn't have a place to go sit down and be around pros. And when Dan started doing the pro day, like, you literally would stay next to guys from the Daily News, or like you run into press photographers standing next to you watching Dan do a speedlight demo, and you'd be like, and this was it, right?
Yeah.
I would kill to have this. If how many years I would have saved on figuring something out, or money I would have saved on wrong decisions, or money I probably would have made better if I just talked to a pro about what I should charge, how I should charge, protect my rights on certain things. There's plenty of stuff. I signed some really bad deals on over my time. But and now the chairs are here, right? And I assisted a lot of hardcore guys coming up that made you work really hard to learn a very small thing at the end of the week or whatever. And I just don't think that era is here anymore. And I feel like this is how I got to do it. This is my conduit to do it. I think this is the way we have to do it now. And we got to have a future, right? Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm also amazed. There's young photographers out there coming up who are astonishingly talented. Just amazing. I take a look, my jaw drops, and
then they tell you it's AI, and then what do you do?
Well, AI to me, it's a present thing in our lives. I'm not a fool about that. It's coming stronger and stronger than ever. All of that is going to happen. I just think that photography as an art and a craft will survive, because if you're creating images in AI, fine, go ahead, but just don't call it a picture. It's a computer construction. It's a voice that is apart from yours. Even though you are directing the AI, it's supplying you with images that you're then saying, oh, maybe this, maybe that. What a photographer does is have a declarative intent and vision and pursue that with a camera. And I don't decry post-production at all. There are photographers out there for whom, and in fact, I looked at a couple of images yesterday from Burt Monroy, who's in the Photoshop Hall of Fame, and he would do these urban landscapes, and we'd piece it together, and it would take weeks to do that in Photoshop. And I'm like, fantastic, man. That's just amazing to look at.
Yeah.
But there is also a school where click of the shutter is the beginning and the end of the process, essentially.
Yeah, I think we're on that same, like, I I want to know what that person looked like in front of my lens. I feel like there's and this isn't AI related, but more like over editing or like basically when does it become digital artwork rather than a photograph.
Mm-hmm.
I always bring this up to you guys before we built the event space. I brought my mother in here to do a portrait of my mom as a demo. And I'm like, I'm not going to edit this. I want to remember what my mom looked like. But I think there's going to be a generation of people like, I have no idea what my grandmother looked like because apparently there's no blood vessels in the early 2000s or, under eyes were just completely void of any type of texture. Like, it's just crazy to me that that's what we want to put out there. Rankin?
Yes, a little bit.
So Rankin did this. I'll never forget this project he did. He shot I forgot what a number of girls ages 15 to 17 and put them against a white wall and shot them very flat, gave them the images, said, you edit them till you feel like it's worth posting.
Oh, interesting.
And when he gave back the images, they all look like aliens. Giant eyes, completely gone chins. Of course, they don't have editing skills or whatever. If they've never touched Photoshop or whatever, but like, this is what they wanted. Where did that come from? Where did that come from, right?
Yeah.
The years that we had campaigns out there of constant hardcore editing. We went through a brief era of like raw photos, especially with like shiny makeup. Remember when all of a sudden they wanted the shine? For how many years did they want us to take the shine out and all that stuff? Now they want healthy skin looks and stuff like that, and things change. I'm hoping part of the reason that the younger, and I keep going like this because the younger kids show up here, they're taking out point and shoot cameras. They're taking out very raw, lower quality images because they just want to see honest. Mm-hmm. They want to take all these options of refinement away and really see what was there. They're done being, I don't want to say lied to, but there's an element of.
I agree. And I'm still shooting commercial work and I still get a skip in my heart when I know I make a good frame, that declarative instance of the shutter. I had a pretty good year this past year. I made some pictures that I'm really happy with. And that is not sometimes the case. Sometimes you can go through a whole year where you look back and say, wow, man, I just, I didn't do that great this year,
Well,
that kind of.
I'll never forget when you're like, hey, Seth, let me come by and borrow your studio for a little bit. I'm like, it's January 1st or whatever. And he's like, yeah, we got imaging coming up. And, I just want to shake some rust off. I haven't shot a photo in like 2 weeks. I was like, Joe, first of all, you're 45 years deep. 2 weeks to drop in the bucket. I'll never forget that. I was like, Joe McNally wants to get practice in before a trade show because he thinks he's rusty after 2 weeks.
Well, yeah. I mean, being a photographer is like playing a sport. You have to exercise. You have to work at it. You have to stay sharp. And even if you work at this really, really hard, you have to also accept the fact that you'll have good days and bad days out there in the field.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're human, number one, but also sometimes your headspace just isn't there, and then you start going into almost like a mental muscle memory. There's times that I had to do special effects shoots and I'm like, I am off, but I'm like, if I can just get to this setup, I'll at least get them something they like,
Oh, I hear you. At the end of the day, even if you've had a very tough day, if you can produce some pictures that you might not be thrilled about, but please the client, and then it produces a check, which then you can use to stay alive and do more pictures that you actually will like, I'm a big fan of that,
Yeah, but how many times I've had, sometimes I'll be at the studio late and I'll just call someone up. There's a lot of performers here in New York that we're friends with. And I go like, hey, are you done performing for the night? Do you want to come by and just let me try some things out? And I almost feel like if I don't get that frame that I'm feeling, I wasted their time. And that's a currency as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that you have to, when you call in a test shot, it's not like I'm wasting your time. Like, I don't want to say the job, but the thing I just sent you with all the shutter draggy stuff.
Yeah.
I was very like, let me nail this down as hard as I can. So when she shows up for me to do this test, I'm only worrying about her as the last element.
Right.
And she just wouldn't stop. She was like, let's keep going. This looks awesome. Oh, and she got me into it. And I was like, all right, cool. But after a while, I'm just like, I don't think you could use any of this,
Yeah, but, if it's a mutual creative collaboration and there's sparks in front of the camera and behind the camera, keep going. Because those moments, they don't come along every day of the week. I've shot some pictures in my life that here's a good encapsulation of it. There's food for the table and there's food for the soul. You have to shoot sometimes uninspired stuff, things that you might not be that interested in, just to provide.
Oh, wait,
keep the lights on.
Are you talking? I can't be nourished by a corporate headshot of a dentist for LinkedIn. Are you kidding me, Joe? Like, I find so much.
Yeah. It depends where your soul is at, Seth, but
I'm a redhead. I have no soul.
but those moments that you have that are food for the soul, that's what we live for. That's when the sound of the shutter, and I know the shutters can be silent, but I actually, I like the sound of the shutter. And that's when, to me, the sound of the shutter is almost like a shout of defiance. It's a scream that I am still here. Okay, I have a camera in my hands, and that makes me dangerous. Okay, because I have a camera in my hands. Look out, because I'm good at this, and if you let me, I'll produce some stuff that will make you look.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
Drama edition Joe with Kung Fu action grip. This is amazing. I love this. I only get this when there's a camera in your face. When we have the but it's hard, man. I think it's hard I think it's easy to forget that feeling of, you ever get that frame that you're working towards, and when you get that frame that goes, I'm onto something.
Yes.
That click
Yep.
in your brain, get out of my way, give me elbow room, get out of my face.
Yep.
I'm going for this. But
Yep.
it's so easy to forget what it's like to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's,
it's galvanizing. Let's face it. I mean, William Albert Allard is one of my favorite photographers, Bill Allard, from the National Geographic. He's retired largely now, but just a formative, iconic photographer. And I've internalized something he said a long time ago. He said, you cannot be indifferent and do superior work.
Yes, exactly. For sure. For sure.
If you're listless at the camera, then why is the subject putting out? Everybody drives off of you.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why the house could be burning down in your head on the set, and you think this is not going well at all. All you have to do at that point, or what you must do, is project positivity, because the crew feeds off of it. The subject feels off of it.
Oh, you can't falter in confidence, because then it's a poison across the whole set.
Of course.
And I always tell, I think I even said this in the special effects demo on the events channel. I said something like, it all starts with you and then gets diluted. You have to care the most about the image, because the person after you didn't put in the blood, sweat into it, so they care just a little bit less.
Yeah.
And then it goes somewhere else and they care a little bit less. So you have to care the most at the time of the shot. It's just, I think it's easy to get lethargic. It's easy to go like, well, I get a few likes on Instagram. What's this really for? Then create a project for yourself, right? Like,
exactly.
Chase something. And I think you do a good job of that. Joe was at imaging with me in Dallas. My man did an 8-hour class, which hilarious, by the way. But he goes, let me pack up all my stuff and ship it to the Amazon, because now I got to go shoot in Ecuador. I'm like, would you stop? Like, I feel like I'm lazy. You make me feel so lazy. It's insane. But it's just amazing how much you really care to keep chasing it. Like, I just don't know. I think that's what makes yes, all the photos, the technical, all of it. I think your ability to connect with people should not be overlooked. My man remembers everyone's name ever. Like, it's so weird. But you forget all the other stuff. Everything else in life.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but I can remember the f-stop on a photograph I made 20 years ago. It's real weird.
One of the things you do that's really cool, though, I don't know if you still do it. He puts together all his images and adds up the shutter speed of every image for the year.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you explain that?
Well, it's crazy, right? Because say we have a year as a photographer, and all of us do this. We go back over the year. Did I have a good year? Did I have a bad year? Where are my best pictures? And you assemble those best pictures. Say maybe it's 1 picture a month, 12 pictures representing each month of the year. And then you add up those shutter speeds. Unless you're doing some drag shutter stuff, it's oftentimes comes up to less than a second. 1,000th of a second, I shot this amazing football picture at 2,000th of a second or whatever it is. And then you add all those shutters, it's less than 1 second, and that was your productive life.
But what led up to that 1 second, Joe? The amount, I mean, come on, man. I've had a decade to afford things that I've needed to do things. And, it's just crazy what it takes and to hone yourself. But to that note, I years ago, younger Seth, used to strive to put out a calendar. And I would be like, even if I make 10 calendars, and I just wanted to make sure other photographers got them. So we just stayed, in the same realm. And so every year, if you guys follow my Instagram, I was like, who's got a calendar this year that I can buy for them? Because I just want to support some other. But even if you give yourself that project every year.
Sure.
February's almost up. I better get a shot that I really want to put out there. Figure it out.
Motivate.
Yeah, it's so hard to motivate. And that's what I really admire about you. I mean, London really opened my eyes, man. I could not tell you how much my ribs were kicked in. And I was like, this guy, I mean, damn, man. I couldn't even get a video out on a vlog for my own channel. And this dude was just cranking. it just blew me away. I was like, I got to get off my ass here.
Well, here's the thing about photography. It's an enterprise, it's commerce, it's all that sort of stuff. We engage in it as a business, but it's also very personal. Your name is on the door. At the end of the day, it's on you. And so that is really fuel for the fire, because you don't want to have slipshod work associated with your name.
Yeah.
So you push all the time.
In your ideal world, where would you see this industry going?
Well, it's interesting. There is all the talk about AI and younger, you can refer to them as creators, et cetera, out there in the world. It's a big mix, and that's fantastic. It's great. But here's the thing: what is interesting to us, and Annie does the analytics on our website, and the new site, Better Pictures, et cetera. It's skewing younger. Our readership on Instagram is skewing younger, which says to me that there's people coming into this industry who are rejecting letting the computer do it for them and embracing, how do I do this? How do I really work a camera to good effect, to make a photograph that is unique to me?
I think there's another aspect to it you might not be thinking about. And Dan talks about this with me and off the record usually, but like, I think people go through motions of quick search, first answer, apply it, and then after a while it doesn't work for them. Mm-hmm. So they stop looking at people that are saying they're doing it, or a YouTube channel that seems popular but really isn't of substance, and they start looking at, well, who's actually doing this? Mm-hmm. And so when Joe McNally's name comes up on all these images they keep finding out there, they go, wait, this guy actually has class. Oh, this guy has workshops. Let me go. And they start finding where to plug in. But it takes that other ambition to scrape another layer away to go find it sometimes. That's why I was pushing you, like, stop being below that layer. Let's go. Come on,
Well, thank you for that, because I finally listened.
Yeah, well, so I know whenever I have an idea for Joe, I'm like, start the clock now, 5 years. It'll be, we'll get going on that in a little bit. But, I just know what could be lost if we don't document it, and how much stuff I thought about over my career that no one else was there in the room for. And I was like, man, I was so lucky. So I try to remember some of it. I got a bunch of head injuries that aren't going to let me remember everything over the years, but I try,
It's, again, what you said earlier too. It's the ones that you miss that really burn. And we miss photographs all the time. There was a thing that got published a while back about, I'm a photographer and I never miss a shot, stuff like that. And I'm like, any real photographer, a good photographer, understands that we miss more than we actually get. That those misses, like, for instance, I'm really close with Rod Marr. He's this
Rod's amazing.
He's a Seattle Seahawks photographer. So
funniest guy ever, by the way.
Way to go, Seahawks. They had a pretty amazing season. And earlier, it was a while back. I think it was preseason. And here's a preeminent sports photographer, and he was put it out on Instagram that he took a lens and he wanted to work on his end zone technique. His close yardage technique. And I'm thinking, that's it. Guy's been doing it 25, 30 years. He's at the top of his game, and he's still working.
Yeah.
That's the essence of this. You got to work at it. It doesn't gift itself to you.
I think, well, from what I get from younger photographers, because I'm literally talking to them daily to their face, I think there's no rock star moment. No one's singing lyrics back to you in this game. No. When you take a shot, it is thankless half the time. People that saw your image don't care who shot it. I think that's why because imaging is coming up, the imaging stages are the closest you get to that, where you're on a stage and you're literally doing something in front of people, is the closest you're going to get to real time. And I don't want to say admiration, but you're just getting real time feedback while you're getting closer and closer to finishing an image in front of people's faces. And you're not guessing, you're not missing, you're proving it. Yeah. That's 8-ball corner pocket. Boom.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think for everyone else, they're not going to experience that. And that's hard for people to stay that motivation when there is no, like, love me for all my greatness kind of thing,
I think it's a potentially tough situation for young photographers for, the permanence thing, because everybody is passing pictures by very, very quickly. But also, too, there is work out there that's being celebrated, and it shouldn't be.
Oh,
right? I mean, because it's a mutual admiration society. And so there are some photographers who are maybe at the beginning stages of their career who could benefit from some mentorship, from some hardcore editing,
Yeah.
someone to say, hey, wait a minute, you're going in a positive path here, but this stuff is slack and lazy. This stuff over here, this is on a good path. You need to work on this. We all need an editor, both in our photography and our life. we need somebody to come along, for me, that person is Annie. She's like looking at me like, okay, time to pull your head out of your butt and make some sense,
Yeah, Annie's got you. I mean, listen, I've seen you when you take charge. I've seen like there's no getting around. Like whatever's going on, Joe's going to do it the way he's going to do it. And I'm going to leave it alone. There was years ago. I wouldn't even touch Joe's camera. I'm not touching. I will set anything he needs me to set up for him. I'm not touching that man's camera. But yeah, it's tough to get reined in. But what do you say to kids that don't have that around them? Because right now, this is their mentor.
I know.
So what do you say to that?
I wish I had a magic bullet type of answer, but I do encourage people, and this may sound very old school, but I have a library, for instance, of about 300 to 400 photo books. You've been to my house. And I dive into the history of this field. And I'm not talking about just going into like 500 pixels or Instagram or any of the sites, all of which is fine. You got to stay on top of what's current and look at things for sure. But you also have to dive back in to the reasons you started doing this. And for me, I know that it started a long time ago. Before I was even aware that I wanted to be a photographer, it had already started. And I remember my dad had a picture book of World War II. My dad was in the Navy in World War II. And he had this, it wasn't a great book, it was just, the layouts were terrible. But I went through that book as a kid over and over again, to the point that I actually don't just remember the pictures, I remember some of the layouts. And there's a kid at the end of World War II, I believe he's a Hungarian refugee, and he is ecstatic. His head is back. He's laughing, crying, smiling, and he's clutching a pair of shoes to his chest because it was the first pair of shoes he had after the horror of the war had just burnt his life to the ground. And I remember looking at that saying, that's amazing. Even as a young person, I was like, wow. And it made me feel joy. It made me feel that young kid's joy. And there are any number of pictures along the way that just inform me. And you and I share this too, FYI, to the side here, a little bit more lighthearted, comic books.
Yeah.
I went to 5 different grammar schools. I was always a new kid. So I was always diving into legends and fantasies and Lord of the Rings and Jack London and White Fang and all of that stuff. And comic books were a part of that. And you can see it in my work now.
Yeah.
I have a pretty strong color palette,
Well, you know what I always thought was weird about, I'm going to critique Joe McNally. Let's do this now.
Yeah,
you know what I always thought was weird about you is that you always lean on this character angle on things, and it's like the most wholesome character ever. It's like the cheesy detective thing or something like that. Like, it's never like, but I always wondered, like, there's no mythology to the Joe McNally thing. That you'll do a small, like the Point Shoot Diaries thing is like a very small story. It's like a few frames, right? But I always thought there'd be a Joe McNally connected universe, and I always thought that you would all your projects would somehow, the mythology would connect to something else, and we'd get like this Avengers Endgame moment out of it. But but I think you always have to. You are tasked constantly with stepping out of the fantasy and having to really document reality. You're doing the Olympics. You're doing press. You're looking for stories in real life, and you kind of have to eat your vegetables for a second. Then you go and eat some candy when you get home, kind of a thing. That's what. But I always thought you would have a larger scale mythology to the Joe McNally world, because you're always come up with characters. Literally, you may not have names for them, but you're always like, it'd be great. And it's always some crazy reference to like usually Young Frankenstein's like that. But I always thought your love of Universal monsters, which I think is what we first started talking about when we first met each other.
Yep.
But I always thought that there'd be some kind of grander thing, but never. Nope. You're just shallow.
That's it. Well, here's the beautiful thing for me personally about Better Pictures with Joe.
Oh, we're live, right? He doesn't even care.
And
Daniel Norton.
Inquiring minds want to know. Daniel Norton.
Oh, I guess I'm in focus. Hey there.
Stay close. Stay close. You're in. Yeah. Yeah.
I've known this guy for a long time. I'm sorry.
These two guys, look at these two guys. These two guys have forgotten more about photography than I'll ever know. Okay? I mean, the amount between these two noodles you're seeing right here, as ridiculous as they are, they really know their stuff. I gotta say stuff, right? Not yeah, I'll say stuff. Yeah, know
I'll
your
let
stuff.
it go, Joe.
Know your stuff.
You get one. You get one, all right?
I'm sure he's already used it. Good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you,
I'm gonna
man.
go have coffee.
No, my favorite is like, he's like, hey, is Dan here today? I'm like, Dan's on his own time.
Yes, there's a thing called real time and then Daniel Norton time.
Just so you guys are aware, and this is a hardcore plug while we got you, this is the guy editing the blog now. So he's refining the information, getting you articles that make sense. They're not AI junk. They're not slop. They're not listicles. They're real content. So
What was that last word? Listicles?
Listicle.
see, in 2020,
Not.
Ah, okay.
in 2005, see, Joe, the listicle was born. You see? Do you want to give a quick blurb about the blog really quick?
Go for it. Go
Sure,
for it.
I'm blurbing.
Blurb.
Sure, yeah. You know, just like everything else we do on Adorama, we're out to basically show people what can be done with their creativity, right? So whether we're making videos or we're doing social content, or doing these podcasts, inviting, guys like this.
He just
with
needed
this
something.
guy.
He needs something to do.
Writing is a new thing. Analog is in, but still read it online. So it's not really analog. You've written a book or two in your time.
I have.
Yeah, Joe's got a great blog actually.
Well, the blog is now metamorphosed into this thing that Seth and I have been talking about called Better Pictures with Joe.
Oh.
And so actually it's really exciting for me because Seth was just saying there's not this kind of universe and stuff that I've created over the years. And you're right, because I've taught a lot of places and lectured at different places, shot for many magazines. It's all over the lot. But now I have this site where my writing has direction. And I'm funneling everything into that site. So when I go to the big pixel in the sky, it's all going to be right there. It's all going to be.
Let's hope it's a megapixel.
Wait, I thought it'd be like
Leave it to Daniel Norton to come up with that. Amazing.
I always thought you just go into a memory card. I always thought you just go into Are you around all day? All right. Okay. Maybe we'll go eat. Maybe we'll go eat.
See, don't you love this? Yeah, we got to eat.
Oh, hey, Jackie.
Hey.
Everybody's showing up.
Oh, gosh.
Side note, the vlog is called 42 West because this is 42 West 18th Street. But seriously, Daniel's doing a lot of hard work to revamp it, and it's been really good. Amazing writers, and Daniel, I hate to give him props, but
Yeah, no, he deserves props, though. I mean, talk about, somebody who's kind of been through it in all manner of
he's been
expression.
what's me through it? What are you talking about?
This is a small price to pay for Daniel's company.
If you understood the conversation that happened at a diner here in New York between us three, that I leave with a less brain cells than I entered that conversation. If you want to get aggravated on a level you couldn't understand, Daniel Norton is the man for you.
I'm seeing. Hey, Tammy Maloney. Thank you. Good to see you on the chat. And also, we were talking about sports, and Rod and whatnot. PJ's on here. PJ, excellent photographer. Shoots a lot of sports, and I'm always looking at his Instagram site, and just wonderful stuff. It's just wonderful to see some names out here. I know the work. I'm looking at the work, and you got to celebrate the work. See, I enjoy the company of photographers because we all share a lot of the same anxieties, weaknesses, strengths. We look at each other in the mirror like, oh, God, am I going to do good today? I mean, how many people, do you think your average banker is walking down the street wondering what the light's going to be like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? No, they don't care.
They wonder what the percentage is on something they
Exactly. And they sit the rest of the day. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Go ahead and do it. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. Everybody's work has honor. But we are a special breed because we're out there and we're worried all the time.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I'm an advocate for trade shows.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that people have looked at them like they're kind of old fashioned. Like, I don't think you understand what it's like to just be around and hear ambient conversations of stuff that's a language other people don't understand, anxieties other people will never experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not just looking at some YouTube video that's telling you an opinion. You get to have actual real world conversation with someone. I mean, you're still out there going. You're actually what I'm talking about. My man's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. What am I talking about?
Yeah, it's the ASP is giving me the International Award, which is given to someone they assess has done good things internationally to promote the art and science of photography. And, you know, I'm very circumspect about awards. Remember, always, awards are wonderful. Gives you like a little lift, you know, the wind in your sails. But always remember, it's like a massage. It makes you feel good, but it's temporary. The next day, after you get the award, you have to go back out there and find another photograph. But this is kind of cool because people have gotten it like Dr. Dr. Land, you know, George Harrell got it. And so,
it's a big deal.
It'll be fun.
I might wear a clean shirt for it. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, Annie's coming with me.
Beautiful.
You know, that's the first question everybody asks me, by the way. They look at me and say, "Hi, Joe, is Annie here?" And so I'm thinking about getting t-shirts, just say, "Annie's not here this time, okay?" Something along those lines. But Annie is coming with me to Nashville, and we're going to have breakfast there, right? I think, you know, and then I'm going to, you know, we'll attend this awards gala, as they're referring to it, and it'll be fun.
It's a big deal. And I think that it's I'm not one for the awards thing. Or like competitions things. And like, to me, the competition thing is a different award than someone actually recognizing your career. So the awards for the competition is like, you entered a competition. I didn't. You might win. I definitely won't. So that's the way I look at it, right?
That's true.
You know,
that's true. Yep.
And you're judged amongst whoever entered, right? But they really look at your entire work and go, this is someone that needs to be, not for drama, but like immortalized a little bit. I always call you the immortal Joe McNally because I'm like, look, Joe, I love you, but you drop dead right now, your photos will be going forever. I mean, the images you've shot and the impact that they've had and the points of history that they've been part of is just like unbelievable. Because it's the only times as a younger photographer you grow up and you go like, yeah, but that was that time. That's not me now. And that's why that's that. And that's why I'm this. You're like, no, this dude did it in real time, you know, and you're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 9/11 happened. I was a kid, but like, you were like, no, I'm a photographer. This is what I do. What can I do? And you went out there and you shot 1-to-1 size Polaroids of responders. You put out the book. You got the money raised for the families and stuff. I mean, like you were like, this is what I do. This is where I live. What can I do? That's so commendable. At the level you did it at was just, man, it's unreal.
Well, we pulled out the stops on that as it was the right thing to do. The camera, again, stood in celebration, stood in service to those incredible people who came in front of it. And I'm glad that it has taken on a life, and it's now a major part of an entire wing at the 9/11 Museum. And so those photographs will live on. And as will Annie and I, again, I just bring up Annie, because I've been in a relationship with the 9/11 Museum for some time now, and part of that relationship has constituted the fact that, or is constituted by the fact that Annie's and my name are inscribed in the walls of the museum, and will be there forever.
It's amazing. And it's funny because me and Joe and a few other people were walking through downtown New York, right at the Katz's Deli, right?
That's true.
And he's just like, well, right over there is where we got the prints done for the 9/11 thing. This is the shop that gave me all the film for this. And then Adorama was a part of that too. They did the print.
Adorama did printing for the 10th anniversary. That's why I have a very powerful emotional connection to this store. It's a wonderful place. Wonderful human beings work here. And it's very personable. It's not a machine, you know? God forbid, get your stuff at a camera store, not Amazon, if you can swing it, you know, because I'm a huge fan of the local camera store. Now, local, I mean, Adorama's a big shop, right? But it's still local. It's in a neighborhood, you know, and you go to towns where camera stores have been dying all across the country, but there's some of them are coming back. And in various areas of the country, I just urge you to patronize your local camera store.
Yeah, I always tell you guys when we're live on Mondays, and again, you know, I'm not trying to sell anything, but like when you support places like this, there's kids here that are getting their career started. Guys in between major gigs, you're supporting the industry. They're employed because they know what they're doing because they're part of this industry, but you're also supporting it when you choose to engage back this way. And of course, chairs are always here for you. Joe has like 3 demos on the events channel you guys can check out if you want. Well, we're way over time, but it's all right. Hey, and we got the bins. You see those $3 bins that I started?
Yeah, absolutely. Are we? What time is it?
It's 12:15.
Oh my goodness.
Do you got to be out of here? You got a heart out?
No, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
You know, I know you want to hit the diner, right?
Of course. The Hollywood Diner. I once turned it into a crime scene. I lit the whole place up.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll find it. Hold on. Do some filler. I'll find it.
I'll do some filler back and fill. We'll put, well, he's working the computer now. I hope everybody's enjoying. If you have, further questions, you can reach me. I mean, ping Seth. He'll relay them to me, or just
Plug your better pictures. What are you doing?
Check out Better Pictures. It's Better Pictures with Joe, and it's very affordable, okay? And I'll get back to you. It's very interactive. Oh, yeah, there it is right there.
Okay, so this is the diner on the corner of Adorama, by the way, which is one of the few diners that has literally a subway stop attached to it.
Yep.
Okay?
Fantastic.
So this is Joe shooting in the middle of the night. Well, I don't know what's in the middle, but
That's Nick. Gosh, Nick is an amazing guy.
of course it hangs. Beautiful. Love it. This is the best. We're only live. Okay.
Nick is a character actor. He's wonderful. Yeah, we shot this. Oh God, I was shaggy from
Look
COVID.
at that hair.
Yeah, I was
Man,
really
you starting a
shaggy.
band? Oh,
Yeah. I was definitely shaggy back then.
Oh, remember the Tether Tools Air Direct? That
Oh my
existed?
goodness gracious me. Yep.
The old Pro Photo remote?
That's the old Profoto remote. Yeah, this was right as COVID was starting to ebb. Everybody had to wear masks. We were separated, but we kept working. Tried to keep working as best as we could.
The internet's killing me right now. Sorry, guys.
So
we were out there, and I started. Is this the one where I put blood all over in the garbage can?
yeah, we have a ballerina in a garbage can.
Which was Erica, by the way, who can
Eric-
bend.
Yes, she's super wonderful, and she's amazing and beautiful, and she's also tiny.
Yeah,
Now, in my defense, this is a brand new garbage
he
can
bought it. Yeah.
that I bought it, and I put pillows in the bottom so she would be comfortable. I would not put a model in a filthy New York City garbage can.
I love the cops right there. And then the garbage guys drove by and yelled like, "Hey, what does she need some picking up?" Man?
Yeah, exactly. The garbage guys were like, "We'll take her," And Erica's a trooper. She's wonderful. And I had this little twist of my brain saying, okay, if you want to shoot dance, how can I shoot dance? I've shot a lot of dance in my life. How can it be different? And then I came up with a scenario that a prima ballerina was offing her competition. And she's escaping. See, the prima ballerina is escaping down the subway. Nick's not doing a very good job there because he's looking the other direction, but as a detective. But I lit down the subway. I lit the store. I lit the street. Gels. I mean, I was in my element because it was just a flight of imagination and color that, was just silly, but instructional. It was fun. We used a lot of the principles of light that night out there on the street.
Yeah, well, you had 10 million mixed sources going on, number one.
Uh-huh.
Of course, you did the Joe throw gels at everything thing.
Well, it called for it because it was a murder mystery kind of a thing. And so I thought, okay, let's just have some fun with it. The colors in this instance didn't have to be real.
Right.
Really didn't, because I'm working, as you say, there's all sorts of mixed light out there. That's Andrew Tomasino, wonderful photographer, based down near Philadelphia. That's Mike Grippy, who's out on the West Coast now, working for Corey Rich. He's working in Corey's outfit now. Very good, young, talented guys. Seth was out there with us. It was just, the new generation of photographers that are coming along is, they not only is there talent there, but that talent is being accelerated by phenomenal technology. And that's a really great partnership.
Okay. Link for that video is in the chat, and it's a series. He did the one on the laundromat is my favorite, but you also made me scout laundromats like out of nowhere. He calls like, "Do me a favor, go on a radius around your neighborhood and give me photos of every laundromat." You know what it looked like about a guy walking in? It looks like me taking pictures of laundromats, and I think they all knew each other because by the time I went to the third one, they were like, They probably call like, who this guy going around. Meanwhile, he ended up using my actual laundromat. So every
Which
time I
was
go
a
in there,
fantastic location.
I went in there yesterday. She I forgot the woman running it, but I never see her. And she was in there the other day, and I was like, hey, she's like, oh, with the pictures. I was like, hey, what's up? Look, it's up to 35,000 views. She's like, oh my God, famous. She's like, oh my.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Oh
Good for
my
her.
gosh. Guys, last call for questions because this guy's going to get low blood sugar. Then I'm going to have to pick him up off the floor. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But, and if you want, because he mentioned it and I didn't get a chance to do it, better picture with Joe if you guys want to. That's the QR code. You guys can scan that and jump right in for it if you want. And I think it's actually like a really good resource, and it's very active, and Joe's very active in it, which I think is super important. So go ahead and scan that. If you're watching this on playback, go for it, pause the screen, whatever. Season Greens from Belize. Do you still produce the Joe McNally softbox, the white interior version?
No, that is gone. It's time's gone by. I originally did that series of light shaping tools with the Last Light Corporation, which no longer exists. It got taken into the fold by Manfrotto, and they are not making them anymore. In short,
they were also built for square head.
Right.
And the industry has moved more towards a round head. There are definitely square head. I mean, Flashpoint has square head. Smaller strobes, and a lot of them are going more retro style for like a look, but mostly people that go for the square-headed, I call them square-headed, speed lights are going for that raw look rather than a refined look. So it's a whole thing. But either way, you're in an era now where any light you want to do, you can create and modify. We had to like DIY so much stuff for speed lights over the years.
Yeah.
It was, oh my God, don't
Absolutely.
miss it at all. You know how many, I was cleaning out my apartment. You know how much DIY random adapter for speedlight stuff I made out of Home Depot parts that I found, and I'm like, I can't do anything with this. So I'm just giving them away to people. The laundromat bandit, yeah, right. Do you use AI at all in your workflow?
No, I'm not naive enough to say, oh, I never use AI. My cameras have AI, certain algorithms, autofocus, eye recognition. I know those are embedded in the context of modern cameras, and certain elements of Photoshop are certainly incorporating AI. But no, what we do is straight up retouching. And when I say we, if I have a heavy duty shoot, say that is involving fashion or skin tones, we have a wonderful retoucher that we work with, and we send the stuff to him because that kind of thing is beyond my skill set. But what I'm hoping to do is when I'm at the cameras, produce a picture that doesn't really need all that much. And for those purposes, I use Capture One. I'm a big fan of Capture One. It's a wonderful tool, not only to tether in the field, but also I use it for post-production.
Yeah. And, all right, cool, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to say thank you to Seth. Thank you to Adorama. This has been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you to Nikon for sponsoring this. Yeah. And I hope everybody has had fun. That's the main thing here is free exchange of information, back and forth, questions, welcome, all that sort of stuff.
I love how you're so automatic to your own sign off. I still remember the times where you're just kind of like, you're like this, and then we're like, all right, and go, hey, everybody, we're here to this jazz stuff. I'm like, man, you just have this on switch about you when you're like being filmed that's like hilarious to me, but like also appreciated, I will say.
Well, yeah, Annie sometimes has gotten concerned because, I've done a lot of live demo stuff on stage, and like 5 minutes before I'm supposed to go on, I'm literally asleep in the back room. I'm on the concrete floor just with my eyes closed, and she's like, honey, and I'm like, yeah, I'm there. And in between that 3-minute walk from the back room to the stage, a light bulb comes on, and I realize, look, you have to bring it, right? That's why when I'm on the road, I'm very much a homebody. I go back to my hotel room. I eat in the hotel because it's my responsibility to whoever is coming to me the next day, whether it's a class or a client. I have to bring my best game.
Yeah.
Because that's what they paid money to come for, and I have a tremendous responsibility at that point.
Oh, that's why the stages of the shows, I always start with saying, like, I never want to do a demo that I think you could watch on YouTube with like a bunch of slides. You will never see me do slides, right? And how much did you pay to get here? Get a room, take off from work, whatever it is. Like, I don't take that light, man. And the last thing I want to do is make anyone feel like I wasted time. It's our legacy. It's our name. It's our rep. It's
Exactly.
everything.
And
Street
also,
cred.
you know, I mean, this stuff is getting recorded. You know, if you really give a bad job or have a bad attitude, that stuff lives forever. You know, it's in your archive, you know, and that's just, you're doing not only the field a disservice, yourself a disservice, but your responsibility to the people who showed up. You have a powerful, powerful obligation to them.
Yeah, it took me, especially when I started doing content for Adorama, I didn't realize, I don't want to say it's a skill, but like, it seems like we just talk and we just do this. One take, basically live in a sense, everything we do, right? And then when I started working with other content creators to produce for things, I was like, oh man, like this is not natural to some people, but I think because we're East Coast dudes, like,
well, you know, I mean, what can we say? We got the gift of gab, you know, perhaps.
but I think it's a skill to organize what you're going to say. It took me a lot of working on to stop saying so I'm always thinking of, instead of going to I've trained myself to think of the next half a sentence I'm going to get to, and I autopilot the last half of the last sentence till I get to that, you know. But it's kind of nuts, and I think people, it's not just about the knowledge, it's about the delivery of whatever they're trying to get. Otherwise, they're not absorbing it, right? So you have to kind of, I always think of it, sounds so stupid, but I think of it almost like classical music. There's a million orchestras that play Beethoven. You got to pick the orchestra that does it the way you need it so that you absorb it, you know? Mm-hmm. Anyone can show you 3-point lighting, but if it's not sticking because the way they're showing it to you or they're stammering, what's it really doing, right? You know?
Well, you have to be excited about the material you're presenting, because then the folks who are listening will get excited. If you're obviously passionate, you're going to convey that passion.
Yeah, well, I think it's easy when we're shooting live, like we're chasing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do the stage thing and you're showing like photos of everything, but Joe in real time, you'll watch his brain go into like the time when he shot that photo. Like, oh, this is Shirley Mason. This woman only bakes cookies in the fall, and I was like, oh my god, like what is he? But he's so into learning about people and then bringing it to the rest of us, and I think that's hard for everyone to master, really. Yeah. There was one question I did want you to answer. Jennifer Maloney in the chat was asking, what would those share photos have been if you didn't get sandbagged?
Here's where I blew it. She was at the penthouse suite in the Morgan Hotel, and she walked in, and the very first word she said to me, I'll never forget, she looked at me and said, "You've got 3 minutes." And I said, "Okay, come on out here on the penthouse porch," because the windows had a certain reflectivity of New York. So I opened the door, and she's in the door. It's not a bad photograph at all, because it's Cher, and her hair is out to here. It was around the time of Moonstruck. Oh. If you Google Joe McNally Cher, you might pick it up. And I remember saying to myself, thinking, there's a set of dumbbells in the corner, and the story was all about Cher's newfound muscle in Hollywood. And I kick myself now. Yes, that one. That one right there. And so I should have taken her jacket off. I should have been just as tough. Okay, I got 3 minutes, then do what I tell you for 3 minutes. And I should have said, take that jacket off. I should have put her outside with the reflection of New York and with the dumbbells and had her do some bicep curls, looking at the camera real defiant like, because it was all about her Hollywood muscle, because it was right around the time of Moonstruck, where she won the Academy Award. And instead I did this more passive picture, which is nice enough, but it just didn't get there. And I have literally, when I make a bad photograph or I don't think I get there, you know, I'm not a water under the bridge kind of guy. It stays with me.
Yeah. And you bring it to every photo for the rest of your life. Like you just you think that somehow it's going to fix that, but it never does.
Yeah.
You always have that scar.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's picture is there. It's done. It's over. And I show it sometimes and people like it, but I always know what it should have been.
It could have been just her against the wall for 3 minutes. You know, you did all right. Come on, McNally, you did all right. The ones that I've missed, here's the problem with being I have lived in New York my whole life, right? So like I walk past ghosts of my former self everywhere I go, points in my life that I've grown from, changed. And a lot of the shots that I missed and I didn't finish, or cops chased me out, or whatever the hell happened, I'm looking I'm looking at a place that's still, the thing isn't there anymore. I can't even go back if I wanted to. Like, it never leaves.
You know, that's a project for you.
Oh, don't start this with me. I got enough homework.
That's a project for you.
This guy.
Seth's Ghosts. And you retrace your photographic arc in New York City. And it doesn't matter if it's not there anymore. You know, pull people from your imagination and populate the landscape of your ghosts with photographs that you would do now.
You know, you're not allowed to give me ideas. I give you homework. You do the things.
Court of public opinion. Is that a good idea?
No. Oh, no.
Is that a good idea? Do we want Seth to do this?
All right.
Can I get a witness?
This is a live stream. You're on delay. I tell you what, Joe. I'll do it as a tribute to you one day. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to it. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Oh man, we are far over. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. This is the first return guest in over 2 years. So if you want, there's like 80 episodes of 80 other guests of this podcast that you probably missed. And I know you missed them because I look at those view counts. Anyway, check out the Call of the Creators playlist and go put this on while you're editing. Go put it on when you're traveling. Go download a bunch of them. Go leave comments. The people that are on these streams, go back and check if people have responded at all. So leave comments on them. Let's say what's up. What's up?
Joe giving Seth a homework assignment is classic. I'm so happy about this. It's public. It's out there. Go, Seth, go. Look at.
It's all going to be about girls I hung out with. You know what I mean? It's all going to be about these.
That's okay.
Okay. Oh, my God. Listen, Joe, you know you're always welcome here. Hopefully I can get you in here in 2026 to do something else. I don't know.
I'd love to do a demo. I mean, the space is a great space, and Seth created this. It's like hip, it's there, it's communicative, it's interactive, and I love coming doing a demo here because the place always gets packed, and the human element that comes in here for these demos, Seth, Daniels, other folks, really are the lifeblood of this store.
I tried to make it a little more cleaned up than we used to have in the past, but still keep like my CBGB's Comedy Cellar vibe to it. Like It's got to have a pirate punk feel to it. I don't want this corporate polishy junk like, oh, tell me about the new Nikon that came out. We'll do that when I got to do that. But I just want you guys to feel like you can always come here. You can always yell at me while we're live. Daniel knows he can crash. Like we can't lose that in this industry, and we are going to. Like,
well, then it's up to more to you than me at this point.
I'm going to put you to work. I got to get you to fill this place.
Just build the dam and keep those waters back. This is our thing to do.
I need a demo by 3:00 today, Joe. Let's go.
You got it.
Yeah, let's do it. Guys, if there is anything demo-wise you want to see, let us know. But if you're new here, hit subscribe. This channel's at 1.5 million, and Joe McNally has 8 billion videos, including that diner video on here. Don't forget to check out the events channel right here for Joe's demos, my demos. We've done some stuff.
What are you looking at back? Oh,
it's the same thing there.
Oh, I didn't even know that existed.
Because he's so self-centered. He's so busy on himself.
I'm trying to look around the softbox here to read this other stuff.
Yeah, I put that there for a reason. I don't want But don't forget to hit follow on Joe's social media. If you're new to Joe, wow, welcome. But this is one of a million legacy pros you guys should learn about, and I'm glad that we still got him to come through.
Diner today, is that the Hollywood?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Hollywood Diner, open 24/7.
Wait, where'd you see that?
CSC Diner today at CSC Photo. Thanks, guys. It says Diner today? I don't know if that's the Hollywood or not.
Well, we're probably going to hit the diner because Joe goes, if I went there and I didn't get sick, that's where I eat now.
Hey, that's a good plan.
It's a good one. Guys, we are going to be at Imaging USA. So booth number 233 is Adorama. Joe will be there for, I think, the first day, right?
Yeah, I'll be, Annie and I arrive early on Saturday the 10th, and we'll be there throughout the day. And then the awards thing is that night. And then I speak at the ASP booth at 1 o'clock on Saturday the 11th.
Okay. So, and he's going to leave before my demo because he doesn't want to support. It's fine. You've seen my demo. It doesn't matter. I will make many comments about Joe McNally while he won't be there. But Make sure if you're going to be in Nashville for imaging, check that out, and see what's going on in your local area as far as that goes. And you guys know you're always welcome here. Daniel Norton will be back when we get back from Nashville. Daniel's the first demo. I'm sorry, January 15th. January 15th on this channel. So make sure you hit subscribe and the bell so you get notified when we go live. Joe, you want to get some nosh?
Yeah, let's get some nosh.
Guys, be good to each other. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you somewhere sometime. We'll definitely see this guy.
Thank you.
Later, guys. Peace.